the short story is that we help companies get real time with Macola. So over the years, everybody that's used desktop type ERP, business software, accounting, and distribution applications ended up, writing on a lot of pieces of paper and then having to hand key that data back in the system. With the advent of handheld computers and Wi-Fi, we've been able to push those transactions out onto the floor where they really happen, and we can eliminate a lot of the day-to-day work that has to be done after the fact. So inside the warehouse, when you move material, whether you're in the warehouse, the shipping department, capturing lot numbers, moving things onto pallets and shipping them, everybody has unique requirements, and those requirements are generally driven maybe by your customers requiring you to comply with things that they need done so that the whole supply chain is taken care of. And the goal at the end is to help you make money and reduce your costs, and to give you the best data possible so that you can actually get the statistics and the metrics that you need to make the best decisions possible. So how this works is the Macola applications are the core level, the base level. All that data is stored and housed in this Macola database. And what we've done is we've taken our framework of applications and just laid those right up on top of the same database. There is no difference between doing a transaction in Macola or doing one in the warehouse management system. Whether you do it at the keyboard after the fact or whether you do it right up front and collect that data, maybe on a forklift and moving a pallet of material to manufacturing, or shipping something out, or processing some part of an order, or doing the data collection necessary to create the traceability for manufacturing. All that is visible inside the Macola data model. So it's one big system, not two. If you've looked at any other warehouse systems, sometimes you'll have this ERP plus that warehouse system, and you end up with two inventory systems. And that's always a problem, because you're going to add a new item to your business system, and then you have to add the same item to your warehouse system. In WiSys and Macola, you add it in one place and you use it everywhere. So it's absolutely seamless. And how we do that, we use these scanners. If you've ever been in the grocery store, Sam's Club, all these companies use this type of scanner. They're ruggedized, they're built to take a licking. They work over your wireless structure in the warehouse. And we're not talking about going over to Best Buy and getting a router. We're talking commercial grade wireless technology, all plugged in and working with your Macola SQL server. So it's important to get the plumbing set up right. But it uses that standard Wi-Fi technology that you have at home, that you have at the coffee shop. It's just being deployed in a special way in your warehouse with multiple access points so you get good coverage. Some of the typical things that you may want to do in a warehouse: starting an inventory, being able to cycle count your material on a regular basis, doing issues, receipts, transfers. Commonly done things are purchase order receiving, and I'll be able to do put away transactions and also capture that inbound lot number from your supplier and tie that together with your final production. And finally, how to ship out that material and be able to create the paperwork necessary. So whether it's received, whether it's moved out of the warehouse into production, whether it's produced, all of that will be happening seamlessly and wirelessly and real time. Most of the time, when you use a ERP type product, you'll be inside of a screen doing one transaction after another. WiSys has extended the reach of Macola into more of an Excel format. So when it makes sense to do transactions in a group, being able to just look at a grid of information and change values and execute. All this comes with our solution. It is modular, so you can buy it on a piece-by-piece basis, but once you have that piece, all those tools come together. We have the ability not just to do what's out of the box. What we do is called tailoring the system. When a WiSys application is tailored, it's really not customized, meaning that Patricia would have to call somebody back at WiSys and say, I need you to make a programmatic change. These things can be done in the field, over the telephone, very quick changes to make our WiSys system work exactly the way you want to execute, all at the same time. One of the key differentiators is WiSys is able to do what's called a composite transaction. That means we can lay down execution steps that look like one step that's really many. As an example, one execution step would be to do a purchase order receipt. Within that same receiving function, we're going to generate the receiver number, and we're also going to generate a label at the same time, without having to get out of your chair, go over to a different workstation, and yell at, hey Bob, please print out 100 labels. As you do the receiving, we would generate all that background work in a single transaction. So it really does eliminate so many steps, and that's what you do when you want to increase your workflow without having to do all those extra steps manually.